right, we're going to call the January 13th meeting to order. Roll call.
Backlund, here. Mr. Carr, here. Mr. Mills, here. Mr. Smith, here. Mrs. Beaver.
Here, this time we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, do any board members desire to add, delete, or separate any items of the agenda as proposed? No? All right, I need a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented for the regular board meeting on January 13th, 2025.
So moved. Fourth.
Roll call?
Mr. Backlund,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Beaver.
Yes, motion carries. This time we need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on December 16th, 2024.
So moved. Support.
Roll call?
Mr. Backlund,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Beaver.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, is there any board members with correspondence? Mr. Carroll? Mr. Samoa?
I have received notice of resignation for Mark White.
Thank you. At this time, you continue recognizing our guests and visitors.
Thanks for being here this evening. You please just introduce yourself.
Kathleen Elby, Molly Elby, Jenny Conrad,
Trevor Williams.
Lucas Burkholder.
Dr. Dolores Swiper,
Brady Rupert.
Sherry Brown, Renee Kessler.
Thank you, everyone. Seeing that no one has registered to address the board, we're going to continue on with our presentation of our financial reports here.
Great, thank you. I have a stack of papers in front of you. The first one you see is our cash reconciliation. This shows that we are balanced with our banks. Second page is our financial summary. This is how we are appropriated with the county auditor. Explaining each fund there. We have our cash summary report that shows our fund balance and outstanding POs for each fund. Our disbursement summary, these are the checks that we issued during the month of December. First graph that you see are the revenue and expense accounts that we have and kind of tying them to the forecast and then comparing them to last year to date. We are 50% at the end of December, we are 50% of the way through fiscal year 25. And the next graph breaks down payroll and benefits. So we are 50% of the way through our payroll budget and 47% of the way through our benefits budget. And a couple other items on the agenda. We have the state of Ohio reallocated or some of our grants. So we did see a couple of increases for those grants. For the first time, we actually lost a little bit of money on one grant. So we have two donations to the Student Assistance Fund and then a high school STEM grant from Parker Hannafin. And then we also have our tax budget that I have to send to the Fulton County Auditor is on there. That is all I have.
Awesome.
Oh, actually, one last thing. Pipeline information. I still have not received any numbers, so I have asked for a meeting. So I'll be heading down to the Fulton County office this Thursday. So I'll let you know if I learn anything.
Any other questions for Mr. Carroll at this time? All right, then we're going to jump right into the financial section of the agenda. It is recommended by Brian Carroll, treasurer, to approve the following financial items. To approve the December 2024 financial reports we just reviewed. To accept the following donations, $100 anonymous donation to the Student Assistance Fund, $3,750 from Parker Hannafin to the high school STEM grant. We also need to approve the following appropriations, modifications, and amend resources accordingly. You can see we have an increase to our high school STEM grant for $3,750, increase to Title I for $12,920.31, increase to Title II-A, $2,453, increase to IDEA-B for $6,013.71, and a decrease to ECSE for $212.28. We also need to approve the 5-year forecast and debt schedule as the tax budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025. The tax budget is required to be filed with the Fulton County Auditor. At this time, I just need a motion to approve the financial reports and other financial items.
Support.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we'll move on to personnel. We need to accept the resignation of Mark Wagner, teacher, for the purpose of retirement effective May 31st, 2025. Mr. Wagner's service to the district is appreciated. Need to offer the following supplemental contracts to include volunteers for 2024, 2025, pending the completion of all people activity permit requirements. Steve McDowell for track varsity assistant, Aaron Schmidt, track varsity assistant, Kent Cothrow, track varsity assistant, Chrissy Schmidlin, middle school track, Leighton Wilson, middle school track, Carrie Phillips, middle school half contract for track. I also need to offer the following individual a non-teaching one-year limited contract effective December 26, 2024 for Brent Wilder, 8-hour night custodian. At this time, we just need to approve the above listed personnel positions.
Support.
Any questions, discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. This time we'll move on to other business. We need a motion to approve an overnight trip for the high school music students and advisors, Rob Stearman, Luke Rosen, and others to be named adult chaperones for a bus travel to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. The trip is planned for Monday, December 15th, 2025 through Friday, December 19th, 2025. Students will perform at special venues located throughout the Disney complex. The estimated cost of the trip is $1,179 per student and will be funded through a combination of student fees, student fundraising, and money donated by the Evergreen Music Boosters.
Move. Support.
Questions or discussion?
Is that earlier than what it used to be?
Last time we
Last time
went,
they went in March.
Yeah.
Well, previous
Previous years, it was
before that, Chris had said it's always been in December or around winter. I think last time was in March was the first time.
right, roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith. Yes. Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. This time, we need to approve an overnight trip for team members, advisor Bill Blanchong, and other parent chaperones to attend the National Academic Quiz Bowl Tournament in Chicago, Illinois. Attendees will depart on Friday, April 25th, and stay at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Chicago, Illinois, during the competition and return on Sunday, April 27th, 2025. The EHS quiz team is commended for its hard work and accomplishment.
Support.
Questions or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. We need to approve a school service contract with Grow Your Mind LLC in Bryan, Ohio, to provide speech language services to Evergreen students attending LEAP during the 24-25 school year at a cost of $70 per hour. An approximate time of 1 hour per week is recommended at this time.
So moved. Support.
Questions or discussion?
There's a lot of students doing that?
just one, right,
Okay, thank you.
or one needing the service. I think we have two at least.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. We need to authorize the superintendent and treasurer to purchase a replacement bus from Cardinal Bus Sales and Service in Lima, Ohio. The 72-passenger diesel-powered bus costs $135,880 and will be purchased with insurance replacement funds.
So moved. Support.
Questions or discussion?
Insurance cover all that? Who was that? The motion.
I put Jason as second, man, search.
Perfect. Thank you.
So the insurance covers the entire cost of the new bus?
Correct.
We still have two more, right, coming?
Yeah, yes, that's in addition to the other two that we purchase on a normal schedule.
Right. Right.
Roll call?
Mr. Vacula,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we need a motion for the Evergreen Local Board of Education to approve the appointment renewal of Miss Denise Decker to the Library Board of Trustees for a 7-year term, beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2031.
So moved.
Or
Question or discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Beckett,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, we need to approve a school service agreement with LearnWell 2 out of Plymouth, Massachusetts to provide instructional services to an Evergreen student medically unable to attend school at a cost of $51 per hour. Educational services will be provided 5 hours per week.
So moved.
Support.
Questions or discussion? All right, roll call.
Mr. Beckett,
Yes.
Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Keeper.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, Mr. Smoller, would you like to take over discussion and information?
Just one item, at the end of the first semester, we did our bullying summary as required. We did have one case of bullying in the high school, which was addressed and resolved.
Thank you. Mrs. Brown?
Good evening, everyone. First off, I want to start off thanking MVP. They did an awesome luncheon for our staff on December 17th, and also did an amazing tree lighting event. We did it outside in under the pavilion, and it was great this year. So next year, we'll probably do the same and add a few things to it. So it turned out really, really nice. Also had lots of really fun Spirit Week items before Christmas break. It was just a great way to end that. We're going on break. Kindergarten registration will be the first week of February, along with kindergarten screening that will take place the week of April 14th. I want to thank Dr. Swineford for working on a $5,000 grant, STEM grant for the elementary. The items arrived and they'll be distributed soon. So our teachers are aware. I just have to get an email out to them. There's some stipulations that go along with the grant, so I'll make sure I share that with them as well. Deputy Kathy has started our DARE program for 2nd grade. She'll be in the building on Fridays for us. The students in 2nd grade, they love it when she comes in. So it's great to see her and Vinny and do their 15 or 20-minute lessons for our kids. Also, Viking Voyage Tutoring has been a great success this year on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mrs. Wise and Mrs. Ford are doing an amazing job keeping things organized, accounting for all of our kids, making sure that students get picked up on time. It's run very smoothly, so we're excited about the changes with that this year. Our kindergarten teachers are going ahead and working on the dyslexia screener at the end of this month. It is just a screener to show signs of dyslexia tendencies. It's definitely not a diagnosis for dyslexia, but it's a good start for our teachers to assess our kids. iReady assessments will be completed at the end of the day on January 24th. We will be meeting with all of our grade level teams to talk about the data and what we're going to do next with that data and intervention groupings for that. 2nd quarter grades went out on January 10th. To my understanding, it was a very smooth process, which is nice. Saves us a lot of paper, a lot of time. And when I talked with Mr. Eckelbarger, it takes him all maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So great time saver. And I think Parent Square has been awesome. So Mr. Doble did a great job of coming up with that new resource for us, because it's just a great way to communicate, not only the information, but pictures, and keeps all of our parents in the loop of what's going on. January 17th, we'll have a planning meeting with our 3rd grade teachers to discuss Terra Nova. It's an alternate assessment for those students that didn't pass the 3rd grade test. So they have an opportunity to try to pass again before that spring test. They do that test one-on-one, so that each student has the opportunity to try to pass, which is a very good thing for the kids that are struggling to pass that. And last, we're going to have our football night for the fellas. It's scheduled for January 31st. Last year was a lot of fun. We had about 250 people show up. Our teachers have been doing a great job planning for food and activities and events. So we're looking for that same success this year. So, do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Brown. Mr. Burkholder?
Good evening. What's still on my mind, and you just said something, we also were privileged to be fed by MVP again. They do this quite regularly for us. On our teacher work day, they took care of us as they always do, and the staff really appreciates that. The January People's Champion of the Month for us is Carrie Klein in our building. I bring her up specifically because she runs our Second Chances program for us. It's kind of like our tutoring service. We're able to offer our kids that struggle. And we've adapted things a little bit over the past couple of years. This year's been by far the most successful program that we've run with the least amount of kids in it. And kind of some of the next numbers here will kind of go with that. So we got to celebrate last week our second quarter success. We do a number of things throughout the week, but the biggest thing is on Friday. We have our all A's breakfast, which we had 75 students get all A's. We also had 211 kids hit the honor roll. We also had 250 of our kids hit the no discipline, no second chances reward. And another 50 students were able to achieve a what's called Real Character Award. So it was a pretty good Friday for us. We had a lot of fun celebrating. Part of our success we could probably contribute as well to our iReady progress that we've been making. We've been iReady the entire year as far as the building goes, not just the assessment pieces, but using the individualized plans for the kids. Since we've implemented it at the beginning of the year, our kids work week by week through the program. So far we've had over 4,600 math lessons done and a little over 10,800 ELA lessons done individually by the students. Those lessons are focused on kids' individual weaknesses and helping them close the gap where they need to improve on. So that's a lot of work those kids spend individually, helping themselves out improving. We're almost done with our sixth grade boss program that started back in the early parts of the fall. It ran a little bit longer this year going into the second semester, which is okay. But they're gonna finish up this week with some presentations that they'll actually go around to the fifth and sixth grade classrooms, presenting the data they found about students and stressors and different factors that impact their lives. So a special thank you, Levi Keller. He's the one from Fulton County Health Department that puts it on for us. He does a really good job working with our kids. Coming up here, we have on January 22nd, we're gonna take our eighth graders to Fort County Career Center. They met with the presenter last month, and this month they actually now get to go and tour the facility. They'll get to see 3 different career options of their choice, which will be led by high school kids. It's a pretty good day for us because the kids kind of get excited about what Fort County has to offer now, rather than waiting till like their sophomore in high school to start thinking about it. And the last thing we have coming up that's kind of a big deal is our second year now. We're going to be doing egg safety days again. Miss Howell and the FFA kids do an awesome job with this. Last year was their first time, but they're kind of amping up even more this year. We're going to do 5 through 8 as far as grades go. Each group gets to go out and learn about some important safety things that affect not just, somebody who's an FFA, but anybody who's a homeowner someday or owns a major equipment, stuff like that you want to know. So a lot of good information for the kids to learn early. So, any questions?
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Burkholder. Mr. Ruber.
Okay, good evening. We didn't have a whole lot of school since the last board meeting, but since then, if you remember, any of those that were at the Veterans Day program, there was a big piece of artwork that our students did. Miss Freese donated that and the whole art department to the Delta American Legion, so that's on display over there. Tuesday, January 7th and January 8th, our students participated in growth mindset and managing the day lessons, which is tied to that PBIS handbook that we kind of talked about, introduced at the end of last year. I also want to recognize Marisol Escada. She is a senior at Fort County, but she actually finished the cosmetology program early. She has her boards and is now working in the field, which is quite an accomplishment to not only get it done by the end of your senior year, but to get it done halfway through. So she came back to Evergreen, and then she's spending her days working already in her field of interest. So that's quite a bit of an accomplishment for her. And the last thing is we do have our CCP parent night on January 29th at 7. We were also going to do the AP meeting for any students or parents interested in AP. That will happen before that meeting at 6:30. New this year, if you have a student that's returning to CCP, they will not be required to come to the meeting. The videos and all the information will be on final forms to try and save some time. So, any questions? Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
Good evening, everybody. Not gonna be near as organized as there. So, start off the staffing. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Terry Woodbury retiring, Sheila taking his spot, and then Brent, the new hire. So now we have full staff. Hopefully that's calms down a little bit. Just a lot of cleaning and organizing since it started. A lot to go through on that, but, done some new checklists for the custodians, try to make the job a little easier, a little more straightforward. And for subs that come in and help out, something they can just reference back to and make the job a little easier for them. New cleaning systems, it's a fast draw system where anybody in the room could use it. You just push a button, it gives you the chemical, it's measured out, it's done. Hopefully that saves cost and confusion. And on to, we have a few grants that we're hoping to get for formats throughout the school, roughly about 56. Just kind of dress the entrance up, keep the salt stuff out a little more. They're all gonna be personalized, do everything. And then another grant quotes for 2 new floor machines. The floor machine at the elementary school is, I don't know how old, super old, can't find parts for it anymore. And then the one at the high school, middle school is just, it's undersized. We clean a pretty big footprint here and it's just, everybody uses it. So we try to get a second one here and also keep that one on board. As far as moving forward in spring and summer, we really want to work on curb appeal, kind of dressing the place up. There's a lot of overgrown areas. Get the grass a little straighter, organized, painting curbs, all the poles, getting all that stuff dressed up. And then crack fill and seal, definitely the elementary, but we gotta get those quotes around and try to get a schedule moving forward to get just a little better schedule all around for that. I think it's been pushed out of the wayside a little bit, but hopefully get back on track. And then we got a new expansion tank at the elementary school. That was a process that started right when I was starting. I think Brent Miller had got it ordered, but we got it all installed with Dunbar Mechanical, so that's up and running. That's doing really good. Keeps the pressure of boilers all equal. We're having a lot of dropouts and raises with the temperatures. So that planed out good. Oh, also high school hot water heater. There's 2 big ones, 250 gallons. One of them sprung a leak in the tank, so it can't be repaired, needs to be replaced. Waiting on quotes to come back for that. Upgrading the front snow machine that we have. Eventually looking to get quotes on some kind of a utility tractor or something to replace that. It's pretty old. I think it's 20+ years old and we're limping it through this winter, but hoping to do something better next year. Water treatment plant out by the bus garage. Got a quote for that to replace 170 tons of sand. It needs to be 18 inches thick. To meet code, it's down to 6 inches thick, so they need to bring in 170 tons to replace all that and get it back up to its filtering process. Other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Mr. Williams?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Simolo.
Yeah, no, thanks. We continue to explore signs down there at the corner. I know that, quotes that came in before with the message board were not realistic. Looking at some other options with just more of a standard sign to do an upgrade. So got one quote in, waiting on a couple more to come in. I'll share those with the board once we have them on what our options are. I know we want to be conscious on the cost, but also there was some energy behind it. It needs a little refresh down there. So working on that. Wanted to give you an outline of our strategic planning, what's coming that will be going through that process in January. Administration will be doing the SWOT analysis. In February, we'll have staff do the SWOT analysis. When we hit March, we're going to do stakeholder survey. So that'll be students, staff, parents, and community. And then in April, I want to hold some community meetings to get people into the room, talk about where they want to see the district going, where we'd like to take it, and just get feedback that way. Then when we hit May, share a draft of the strategic plan with the community and look for board approval then in June. So we have a game plan moving forward for the next 3 years. Related to that, as part of the Duke committee that meets periodically with Director Dakin, superintendents that are in that committee, we're challenged to look at high school programming and to explore new models. They are hearing that businesses want and need students coming into the workforce with skills, because information is so readily available, and the skills are what's lacking. So the question I asked, how do we better prepare our students for future jobs? As part of our strategic planning process, I think that's what we need to look at, our current programming. How do we improve that to make our students ready for the workforce? I think we do a great job, our college prep track, students planning to go to college. We have a great program there. What can we need to do and offer differently to help our kids out as they move on from it? That fits right in with the strategic planning and where we want to go. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. Small. Is there any board members with questions and concerns?
I have a couple quick ones. How's food service going?
We've had a lot of absences in the cafeterias, so that has kind of been a challenge. The parent, our food service director was sick over break and coming back, and that led to some challenges with ordering the first week back.
Still pretty small sample size still too though, right?
They are conducting interviews to get an additional staff member in each building, which will enable them to get into more of the scratch cooking and increase our menu options. So it has been good. It has a little ways to go, I would say, to improve. And that's their plan. It's not where they wanted to take it from when they took over.
One more quick question. This might be for Mr. Doble, here. I saw that there was a security breach with Power School.
Yes.
Was anyone at Evergreen affected?
No, we put that in the district update that went out Friday. Power School confirmed that we were not affected, and so did Milwaukee, the houses, all of our servers. So we have confirmation from both places that Evergreen data was secure and safe.
Thank you.
Any further, anybody else with questions, concerns? All right. At this time, we need a motion to adjourn the January 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Evergreen Local Board of Education.
So moved. Or,
Roll call?
Mr. Bacula?
yes.
Mr. Carr?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Yes, Mrs. Peters.
Yes, motion carries.